Well, in addition to Glenn Youngkin and Winsome Sears, Jason Miyares is the Attorney General-elect of Virginia, and he joins us now to let us know about this red wave getting ready to take over Virginia. Jason, great to have you with us this morning. So, congratulations once again.
To be with you.
So tell us the big plans. How does Virginia begin to change today?
Well, you know, the first thing we did this morning, I just literally left a prayer service with Glenn and Winsome, and we prayed for the Lord's blessing and guidance. I think that's the first step. We're going to get sworn in. It's going to be a different kind of ceremony. We're really excited. And then immediately after that, we're not waiting until next week. We're going to immediately go up to the third floor of Mr. Jefferson's Capitol and sign a series of executive orders. We're a big believer that you run on your promises, then you keep your promises. A lot of that is empowering parents. A lot of that is we're going to be pushing back on and joining the other states that have challenged the OSHA vaccine mandate. And then we're going to investigate, starting today, through executive order, empowering me as Virginia's 48th Attorney General to investigate what happened in the Loudoun County School Board, or the horrific sexual assaults that happened on those campuses. So we are ready to get to work on day one. We're not taking days off. I can't tell you how excited we are. It is a new day in Virginia. And while it's a little bit cold today, we're all really warm. Our hearts are full and ready to go to work.
Wow, it's so wonderful to hear that you started off this term with prayer. Very heartening. So the Republicans in Congress listed their priorities for the coming year, and none of them included mandates, oddly. You say that getting rid of these vaccine mandates is part of job number one. You saw what happened in the Supreme Court this week. How is that affecting what you're going to be doing?
Well, you know, we're going in year 2 of the pandemic, and my attitude is let's treat people like adults. I'm vaccinated. My family's vaccinated. I got my booster shot, but that was my decision. But I think let's treat any American that wants a vaccine at this stage can get one. And so I think at this stage, treat them as adults. That's what a free society looks like. So the idea that an unelected federal agency can promulgate a regulation that affects hundreds of millions of lives here in this country through their employer, and basically ordering an employer, you either fire that individual or force them to get the vaccine. That's the opposite of what freedom looks like. That's the opposite of what individual freedom of conscience looks like. And so we're going to be joining the 25 other states that have filed suit as well to make sure that Virginia is covered by the Supreme Court decision. They obviously ruled differently on the CMS mandate. But that is, we're having a crisis of care in rural hospitals in Virginia. And so we heard from so many administrators saying, listen, the healthcare vaccine mandate is going to have a potentially exodus of really critical nurses and hospital administrators right at a time that we need them. And so I actually think CMS is just going to be forced to revisit this regardless of the Supreme Court ruling, just because you're going to have really a real crisis of access to care in rural, not just rural Virginia, but across rural America. So we're going to be pushing back on that. But listen, Thomas Jefferson, who was previously governor of Virginia, said the states are the laboratories of democracy. Let the 50 states figure out the best path forward to tackle this. That's what we really want to do. The 10th Amendment is a really important one, and we want to get more power to the states and less power in Washington, because the government that governs best is the government closest to the people. We're excited to get started in a few short hours.
Amen to that.
Mr. Attorney General, all great stuff. Amen to that, indeed. You know, the election that you guys won didn't start about education, but it really became about parents and education and theories being taught in the classroom. For those parents that are looking for a change based on state and local government and what they prioritize, what are parents going to see differently about education in the state of Virginia?
You know, Governor-elect Youngkin and Winsome Sears and myself, we both believe in empowering parents and not bureaucrats. And I think that's the first step. And what's amazing for me is when Terry McAuliffe said parents shouldn't have any say in their child's education, this guy was previously governor of Virginia. That's in the Virginia Constitution. You have a fundamental right as a parent to the education upbringing of your child. And so we're going to remind people what's in the Virginia Constitution. We're going to remind school boards what's in the Virginia Constitution. And if there's any silver lining from this shutdown of our schools during the pandemic, is parents got to see, oftentimes with horror, what their children were learning. And listen, I'm a child of somebody that fled communist Cuba. I know this is the American miracle. And it is indeed a miracle. And while we've had some dark chapters in our history, and we should definitely teach that, we should also teach that America has given more second chances to more people from more backgrounds, more faiths, and more creeds than any country in the history of the world. It is the American miracle. That's also what we need to emphasize even more so to our children, not a distorted view that America is just so inherently broken and irredeemable. That's not who we are as a people. You're going to see a lot of unity come out today when Glenn gives his inaugural address. I'm so excited to partner with him and get started.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how ready we are to get to work.
Love it.
Well, amen to that vision of America. Congratulations. We'll be watching Virginia. Attorney General-elect
Thank you.
Jason Miyares, thank you so much for jumping on Fox and Friends.
Thank you.